Hey everyone, Sue tagged me to do the strange bookish facts tag, and that was after I already commented on Britta's original video that I don't think I have strange bookish facts. So maybe that's the first strange bookish facts I have, that I think everything I do is normal, especially when it comes to reading. I've always read, and reading has just been something I do, and it's just since I started booktubing that I've started to analyze how much I read and keep track of things and look more at what I read than I've ever done before. So that is something that came with booktube. Before that I just read the same amount and books and things, but I didn't really track it. Another thing that I think is not strange about my reading is how eclectic my reading is, that I'm a very mood-driven reader. I read what I feel like. If something sounds interesting, I just pick it up. If something looks interesting, you know, I'm a huge cover buyer, so if it has an interesting cover and an interesting title, I will pick it up, no matter what it's about, which leads me to reading a lot of interesting things. But it also stops me from picking up some kinds of books. So science fiction covers, for example, especially old ones, are horrible. I don't like reading them. So since I think a cover affects the enjoyment of reading, that stops me from buying books that are not beautiful or appeal to me. So when it comes to science fiction books, I often rely on recommendations or lists or things that have been liked by others. Is that a strange fact? I'm not really sure. What else? Oh, I don't leave the house without a book. I don't think that is a strange fact, because how do you expect to read if you don't have your book with you? So I always have something to read on me, at least an audiobook, but mostly also the physical book or the ebook I'm currently reading. So that is not something strange, I think. It's something that you need to do if you want to read, especially if you leave the house, which we sometimes have to do. Now there is something I think I do have a strange fact where it comes to formats. I read ebooks, I read physical books, and I also listen to audiobooks. And I do think that the format I choose for the book affects how I perceive the book. So sometimes I don't really care, but there are some books I prefer different formats for. For example, I prefer non-fiction books to be in audiobook form because I really get to them much better. Also, if I'm just interested in the story or it's a plot-driven science fiction book, I prefer audiobooks because then sometimes I can just fly through it and don't get dragged down or slowed down by some scientific stuff, which might bore me with my slow reading pace. But on audio, I just grasp it better, especially science fiction and non-fiction. Otherwise, I don't really like to read literary fiction in ebook or audiobook format. I prefer to have a paper book where I can flip back and forth because I forgot something or I wanted to check back on something, which I don't think you can do very well with ebooks and audiobooks. So there I need physical books. So yeah, strange? I don't know. It's a practicality thing. I don't know how many of these were now. I don't think I can get too many more. So the last fact I'm going to talk about is that, contrary to everyone here on BookTube who tries to read more translation, I actually started reading books in English because I wanted to stop reading only translated fiction. You know, I'm German and everything we have here is translated, and a lot of the books that I tended to pick up were translated from the English. So I decided I can read English, I'm good at English, I'll just read the original. And that slowly transferred me to reading more English books than any other language, which I don't have a problem with because most German books I don't really like. And when it comes to other languages, apart from German or English, I actually check out the translations that are available for me. And sometimes I read the German translation and sometimes I read an English translation, depending on price and availability. That is a luxury, I think. I'll let you be the judge. Are those strange facts? Are these normal facts? I have no clue. I don't even know who hasn't done the tag yet. So if you think you have strange facts to add, make a video or leave them in the comments for me to see what other strange bookish facts there are. Thank you for watching and go watch Sue and Britta's videos. Bye bye.